I'm trying to free your mind, Neo, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
The Fundamentals of Life by Christopher A. Wilson. Human life. What is it all about? This question may have many factors, theories, in-depth twists and turns, concepts we cannot fathom or simply answered with one word. It will take a lifetime to come up with such a satisfactory answer. As life has so much to offer and so much knowledge, it can become a confusing and stressful experience. So while we ponder the question of our existence, we must first learn how to take care of our life. After all, we are experiencing it, are we not? So then, it gives me great pleasure to teach you the fundamentals of living a human life in the most peaceful and pleasant way known to humanity. The purpose of this audiobook is to teach you how your body works and how to take care of it, how your mind works and how to take care of that, and how emotions affect your daily life and how to control it, and other parts of your life which may be unknown to you. The teachings in this audiobook are all the basic principles of living a human life in the most pain-free and natural way possible. Deterring from these principles, however, may invite stress, anxiety, depression and hardships into your life. There is a way of living in a peaceful state throughout your existence, and you are about to learn how. If you currently have imbalances or pain and/or don't know why, this book may be able to offer an understanding and help alleviate that pain or confusion. Many have spent their entire lives trying to figure out how to cope with the stress that society and normal living puts upon humans. What you are receiving are, at the very least, guidelines for such feats and how to implement them into your daily life. So let's begin. It is apparent that time does not drastically alter the human race and its physiology. If it did, we would have the ability to fly great distances unaided, or the ability to swim to great depths unaided. Being so, not much has changed to how humans work and operate. Except our understanding and mentality has improved dramatically throughout the ages and continues to expand every living second. During this age, through extensive research, exploration and advances in technology, we have come to understand greatly the fundamentals that give a human life longevity and peace. All this gathered information and knowledge goes into great detail and covers many aspects and subjects, some of which are multifaceted and complex. So allow me then to deliver these fundamentals of life as simple principles. We shall be covering several subjects which in their own right deserve much more indulgence, for their knowledge is infinite. However, in the name of simplicity, shall sum up each subject to the best of my ability. Each principle is fundamentally the way in which a person should attain to live by in order to have a balanced lifestyle and peace. We shall conclude each subject with some exercises, be it physical or mental, to help you achieve these principles. Lastly, at the end of this audiobook, I shall tell you a list of resources which may be able to assist you on your journey through life. While most of the information in this audiobook may sound like common sense, it seems apparent that in today's society, common sense does not seem that common any longer. With all the illness and diseases, rising numbers in obesity and mental disorders increasing around the world, people appear to have strayed from the path and lost their way. I intend to put you back on that yellow brick road, my friend, so that you can continue your journey. After listening to this audiobook and its vast knowledge, I hope it may offer you an insight into the world in which you reside, and teach you how to make your journey through life less painful and more peaceful. Chapter 1. Nutrition. Food is fuel. Human beings, like all beings, require food to survive. If we look at our history, all the way back to when we were living in caves, we required food to fuel our survival. We required food to fuel our evolutionary progression. Food is the essential energy we need for survival, as it fuels our body, and so it should be treated as such. Food has essential components or nutrients which our bodies require to function accordingly. When we think, move and sleep, we use these food components or nutrients as fuel, fundamentally for maintenance and human progression. Food gives us strength, endurance, focus, stamina, performance, maintains and restores our body functions, maintains and restores our mind functions. The list goes on. Failure to fuel your body with food will result in a weakened state, headaches, continuous illness, diseases, and eventually death. Food has been known to improve eyesight, strengthen the immune system, assist in body repair, repair skin and blood cells, increase bone density, increase longevity, and even being a contributing factor in curing the most serious of diseases. Therefore, it stands that in order for humans to survive, we need to fuel our body with food. How much fuel you require per day all depends on the individual, as there are many body types. For example, if you can imagine your body being similar to a motor vehicle, some require more fuel than others depending on the vehicle type. Some require a specific fuel, some require more than fuel. If you use the wrong type of fuel in a motor vehicle, it will cause damage and eventually you will have to buy a new one. Unfortunately, we cannot buy a new human body. Our technology is not that advanced yet. When a vehicle is in use, it uses up fuel, so eventually you'll have to stop for more fuel. If you fail to fuel your vehicle while it's being used, you will inevitably stop. The human body is exactly the same. Our bodies require specific fuel. Some bodies require more than fuel than others depending on the body type and daily use of the body. If you don't fuel your body, you will get ill and stop functioning correctly. If this continues, your body will break down and your life will come to a halt, and the only services to help you will be either an ambulance or a hearse. So it is compulsory to fuel your body so you can drive on into the sunset. Whatever you consume is what you become. What we eat and drink will become a part of our body and our experience. The molecular structures that make up food and drink are broken down when inside the body. All the nutrients from the food and drink are then transported to different parts of the body to assist and repair human progression. Yay, science! So rightfully, whatever you eat will become a part of you. Whatever you consume becomes a part of your being and part of your experience. Allow me to give you an example. When you eat an orange and it's partying in your stomach, the nutrients and vitamins in that orange are broken down into energy and sent to different locations around your body. Some energy might go to a scratch you have and help with repairs. Some energy might go to your bones and assist in the creation of white blood cells. Energy may go to your brain and help increase your focus or emotional state, and so, in this process, the consummation of nutrition eventually transforms into energy that becomes a part of your experience, thus becoming a part of your being. So if you ate a banana and a few moments later you felt happy, the banana broke down and sent energy to your brain, which caused your brain to activate the happy button, because the brain and body knows good food when it's being consumed. Fueling our body may seem easy with an abundance of food available at our fingertips, but indulging in the wrong type of foods can have the opposite effect on being healthy. Food and drink comes in many forms, with the large majority of it in today's society being unnecessary for our body. Simply put, if you eat shit, you will feel like shit. If you eat the wrong foods, you will send the wrong energy to your body. Whatever you digest will become a part of you. Consuming the wrong food and drinks will have effects on your physicality, physiology, psychology, functions of organs, emotions, social interactions, feelings, and mind behavior. And as it can affect our emotions and mind behavior, it will affect how we perceive and experience our day. For example, if you ate a piece of cake, cake, you may feel good during consumption, but later during the day you will get the notion of feeling bad. Your body may start to ache, thus it may cause you to feel upset, bloated, or cause bad digestion. Again, when you indulge in alcohol, be it socially or solely, the taste or effect on the brain may seem pleasurable at first, but after a while or the next day even, you may get bloated, feel nauseous, dizziness, sickness, inability to talk clearly, imbalances with brain functions, the list goes on and on. And of course the next day you're met with a hangover and the notion of feeling bad, feeling down in the dumps, and possibly regret consuming so much. Consequently, the more you indulge in bad nutrition, the more damage you will do to your health. The same can be said if you consume the correct nutrition. All you need to do is eat and drink good food, and you will feel and experience a good life. Eat for purpose, not for pleasure. Consuming healthy food and drink is a great feeling. Not only does the initial feeling make you happy, knowing you are eating for the good of your health, the benefits you will receive later in life will give you a feeling like no other. While the feeling of eating healthy can bring you pleasure, eating too much of healthy food can have the opposite effect too. Only eat the amount you need and not the amount you want. Overloading your daily food requirements can lead to further difficulties like obesity, problems with digestion, effects on your immune systems and higher cholesterol levels, to name a few. The overindulgence in food may also cause implications to your overall health. Although the implications may be small, eating because of boredom, eating because of conflicting emotions, eating because of a specific type of food tastes great will not do you any favours, except to contribute to the illusion of happiness. I'm bored. Let me see what's in the fridge. I really like chocolate, so I'm going to buy 5 bars. I've been to the gym today, so I'm going to treat myself to some junk food. Oh my, this paper is due next week and I haven't even started. This bottle of wine will help. Although it's natural to want the pleasures and easy things in life, you should consider the long-term effects and think logically about the decisions you make with nutrition. After all, what we eat will become a part of us and our experience. Only eat for the purpose of fueling your body and your daily needs. If you have conflicting emotions, I implore to you that food will not help get rid of these emotions, only quiet the emotion for a temporary time. If you are experiencing stress, anxiety, lust for food, boredom or any other emotion that drives you to snack on these things, you should consider other alternatives which I will mention later. Lastly, if you love a certain type of food, even food or drink considered unhealthy, it would be best to have it in moderation providing your nutrition is balanced. Only then is it possible to eat and drink for pleasure.
Nature's supermarket.
Many people with all the moderation on society have forgotten who we are naturally, and also forgotten that all the food is fundamentally provided to us by the earth. The healthiest of food have been supplied to us since the dawning of mankind and still supplied to this very day. Earth is the longest global food company to ever exist and has fed countless people since time began and will continue to feed countless more. How about those statistics? But these days, the food and drink being placed before us is mostly bad for our health and good, with about 60% of food being unhealthy in most major commercial supermarkets. As a culture, mostly in the western part of the world, have become lazy in paying attention to food, preparing and cooking food and even eating it. So much that most people turn to the easier options, which are not healthy in the slightest. There are, however, in recent years, companies which are developing healthy alternatives to battle this epidemic. As it is our nature to progress, and with advances in technology, scientists and nutrition experts, to name a few, have been experimenting with different food combinations, creating new types of food and alternating the molecular structure of food. This may be all exciting and great, but the type of food being engineered, which most ends up being the most popular and are not healthy for our minds and bodies. Most processed foods have been treated with chemicals which kill bacteria. Some bacteria we need for our bodies and some we don't. Also, processed foods lose a considerable amount of their nutritional value and nutrients due to this chemical process. Some food and drink can have genetically modified molecular structures which are created in laboratories and put into the food we buy. By no means do I wish to scare you or frighten you with this information. I'm just making you more aware of the world in which you reside, and the food you may or may not be consuming. As processed food and junk food do more bad than good, it would be wise to stick to the most natural sources of food. Therefore, although it may take more time and be less satisfying, it's necessary to find more natural alternatives and methods than indulging in bad choices. Fuel your body for the purpose of maintaining health and longevity, not for a pleasurable quick fix or to satisfy your taste buds. Give time for your health, and your health will give it back tenfold. Okay, here are a few exercises for you to help you with your nutrition. Daily food requirements. Though food requirements may change from person to person, as some humans are taller, have different body types, have a different physical demanding lifestyle that requires more fuel or dietary restrictions. There are many methods on how to measure and how much food you require on a daily basis. I shall explain a few of the most effective and easy to adhere to methods of eating healthy and maintaining a healthy body. Typically, each meal you have should consist of a source of vegetable, source of protein, source of carbohydrates, a source of fat, and maybe a beverage if you need it. Please refer to my website, which I will mention at the end of this audiobook, for a list of healthy food and drinks. The daily food requirements for a woman, or calorie intake, is between 1,200 calories per day up to 2,000 calories per day, depending on your lifestyle and physical demands you place on your body. For a male, it's between 1,800 calories per day up to 2,500 calories per day. But as mentioned, as we are all unique and have different lifestyles and do physical demanding things more than others, it will be up to you to find out your daily requirements and how much you actually need. You can do this by simple trial and error and seeing what works for you and what doesn't. Figure out how many meals you need per day by only eating when you get hungry. Listen to your body and it will give you answers. Some people have 1 to 2 meals a day and some have 5 or 6. The amount of meals you have per day doesn't matter as long as you're still getting your daily food requirements and your daily calorie intake. So if you're currently having 4 to 5 meals per day and still gaining weight, it's not that you're eating so many meals, it's that the quantity of those meals are probably too much. This goes the same if you're eating 1 to 2 meals per day and you're losing weight. If you still prefer to eat 1 to 2 meals per day, you just need to add more food and more quantity to your meals. Another method for finding out how much food you need per meal is called the hand portion method. The hand portion method uses a person's individual hand as a measuring tool to serve the correct portion size of food for that individual. It is one of the easiest ways to measure your food, being pretty accurate, and you will always have it on you, I hope. So here's how you do it. So the hand portion method is divided between vegetables, protein, carbohydrates and fats. For vegetables, a female should have 1 fist-sized portion and males should have 2 fist-sized portions. For protein, a female should have 1 palm-sized portion, which don't include your fingers, and a male should have 2 palm-sized portions, again not including the fingers. For carbohydrates, a female should have a cupped hand-sized portion, and a male should have a 2 cupped hand-sized portions. And for fats, a female should have a thumb-sized portion, and males should have a 2 thumb-sized portions. It is important to acknowledge that these are just values and can be changed and modified depending on an individual's health and fitness goals. For example, if you wanted to lose weight, you can change the vegetable hand size to a full hand-sized portion instead, giving you more nutrients and minerals. If you wanted to gain more muscle, you can increase your protein intake more, or increase your portion sizes per meal. This method, although useful, should be used as guidelines and nothing more. As I mentioned before, you can count your calories per meal as well. This is the scientific approach to calculating how much food you need per day. Calories is basically the scientific word for fuel, and therefore calories can tell us how much energy we need. If you want to know how much calories a specific food has, you can look on the back of the label in the nutrition facts, and it should tell you how much that particular food has. This label should tell you how much protein, carbs, sugars, fats, salt, nutrients and vitamins in each food are, which all adds up to your daily calorie number. So when you find out the total amount of your daily calorie intake, you can divide that number into each meals that you want throughout your day. As each food has different nutritional values, it will require the individual to check every food label to make sure you are hitting your daily calorie needs. While this method may be the most accurate and become an easy way of living over time, it can be very time consuming in the beginning and become tedious, but it does work and it produces great results. If you have a busy lifestyle and tend to eat junk food or fast food all the time, you may want to consider prepping your meals. This method is used by bodybuilders, celebrities, businessmen and women, and basically anyone who has any busy schedule. Preparing your meals for the day will take away the need to indulge in junk food, save you time and is very efficient. The basics of this method is to prepare your food for the day at the same time and by packing them into food containers for future consumption. Some people cook an entire week's worth of food in one day and store it in the fridge or freezer. Then take it out the night before so it's cold in the morning, then heat it back up for consumption. This method has been said by multiple athletes to have been the key to their success. And if you know you will be home at a certain time of the day when you need to eat, you can pre-prepare a meal, put it on a plate, cover it with cling film, and store it in the fridge for when needed. I personally find the best approach for this method would be to choose 2 to 4 healthy recipes to enjoy. Cooking 2 or 3 days worth simultaneously, pack them into containers and store them in the fridge or freezer. Then take these containers with you during your day and simply heat them up. If you follow some of these methods, you should have the right daily food requirements that you need, and also carry with you your favorite food all the time. Chapter 2. Sleep. Sleep to recharge. Humans, like most mammals, require sleep to rest and recharge their body. As it is our nature to sleep, we have a natural sleep cycle which we must adhere to. The natural sleep cycle is pretty easy to follow. Get up with the sun, go to sleep when the moon is high. The planets we see affect our Earth and its inhabitants. This is just how nature works. Without the sun, the Earth would perish. Without the moon, our planet would sink. Science is just coming to understand the effects of the sun and moon have on our quality of sleep. For instance, a full moon will give us a better quality of sleep than a half moon. Kind of crazy, huh? A bright sunny morning will wake our bodies up quicker than if the sky was cloudy or grey. So, if you are late for work one day and you need to justify it with your boss, blame the clouds in the sky. The sun and moon affect our thoughts and body functions too, even during sleep, although this is on a subtle level, so we may not notice this. Using this simple method of when to wake up and sleep in the most natural way will definitely give you the quality and quantity of sleep required for humans. During sleep, we give our mind and body time to relax, allowing nature to get down to business. Throughout the day, we become tired and fatigued due to a drop in energy levels. When we sleep, our body shuts down certain body functions which we do not need during sleep cycles. Our body uses the energy from these processes to repair muscles, fight antibodies, repair the immune system, repair blood cells, and recharge our energy. So it is vital for living things to sleep in order to recharge and repair their body and energy levels. Your sleep determines your lifestyle and vice versa. Science has come to understand that the 3 basic fundamentals of longevity for human life is good eating habits, good sleeping habits, and good movement habits. Imbalances in these areas can have an overall effect on your daily life and your experience. If you have bad afflictions with your sleep, it will flow into other areas of your life and cause conflicts. For some, these afflictions can be what you do in the hours leading up to sleep. For some, it's their environment. For others, it may be what they do or eat during the day. The thing is, all these things can cause a sleep disorder. If you have afflictions with your sleep, it is because, as the name suggests, you are not in order. There is something that is affecting the order and quality of your sleep. And the quality of your sleep affects your daily life and how you live it. So if you don't get enough sleep, you feel groggy or fatigued, and so turn to stimulants like coffee and sugar to wake you up. Then drag yourself to your place of work, and most likely grab another mocha choco frappy cappy latte with cream and a bagel on the way. This doesn't sound like the correct way to start your day, does it? Conversely, your daily lifestyle and hours leading up to your sleep can have major effects in the quality of sleep you will have. So if you're playing video games right before bed, or watching TV, or playing on your phone, it will affect your sleep, as the artificial light protruding from it tells your brain that it is entertainment time, but that isn't the case. If you spend most of the day rushing around and come home late at night and just want to sleep, this will affect your sleep too, as you have not allowed time for your mind and body to relax and get into a sleep state. Similarly, when you go into your slumber and constantly think about the day ahead, or just let your mind run wild, it can affect your quality of sleep and the experience you will have the following morning. If you do not take control of your sleep schedule, sleep patterns, habits and lifestyle, it will drastically affect your future health and happiness or peace. Take control of your sleep, and you can take control of your day. Sleep for purpose, not for pleasure. While sleep is one of the fundamentals to longevity, it can also be abused just as food can be abused. The recommended sleep time according to scientific research is said to be about 7 to 9 hours. However, some people live a very long time on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. This will depend on the individual. Also, the more you get older throughout your life, the less sleep you will want to have. Have you heard of people that are in their 50s or 60s or even 90s and they only sleep for 4 to 5 hours? This is because the older we get, the less requirement we need for sleep. More noticeably, some people enjoy sleep so much they either stay in slumber when it's time to get up and move, or go to sleep due to boredom, sense of escape or inner conflicts. Some people eat so much food their body cannot handle it and induces want to sleep so it can shut down the body functions in order to deal with the overconsumption of food, where others work so much that they burn themselves out. There is a time for quality sleep, and it should take place at night. No matter your busy schedule or lifestyle, sleeping at the wrong time will affect your sleep cycle and move your body into disorder. If you are feeling tired during the day or become fatigued, consider taking a break from whatever you're doing, or sitting down to relax for a while. Consider drinking a warm beverage or taking a short walk. If you feel sleepy, it is your body telling you to slow down or speed up. If you have been sitting all day, then get moving. If you have been moving all day, then get sitting. You should sleep for sleep, not for other reasons. Again, like food, just enough will promote your health. Too much of it can have the opposite effect. There is a purpose for sleeping, and that is to recharge your energy. So when you feel sleepy, tired, fatigued during the day, listen to your body and respond correctly. To the dreamers. When we sleep, we have visions, images, stories going on within us. Some that we are consciously aware of, and some we are subconsciously aware of, although we are sleeping. These dreams can consist of good things and bad things, weird things and unexplained things. Some dreams we will remember forever, Some we forget instantly. Some dreams are realistic, others are not. Some dreams we have present themselves in the real world and we get a feeling of an experience we had before, even if we cannot remember this dream. It is known in French as déjà vu, which means the mind has already seen it before. Some dreams we have are filled with tragedies, and chaos, and violence, scarcity, called nightmares. Others are filled with immense joy and happiness and pleasure. There are no reasons as yet why we dream, although we just do. But dreams, however, affect our being and human experience. If remembered, it can change how our day starts and alters our feelings during our waking hours. Even if we do not remember it entirely the next day, we are aware consciously that we did dream, and just the notion of remembering it has changed our thinking pattern. I cannot offer you a logical explanation for our ability to dream, as the human mind is still not yet fully explored. I can, however, offer my own theories. The dreams we have is energy, appearing to us in stories and scenarios, showing us the distinction between good and bad, and different effects it has on our emotions and feelings. This energy uses our experience to conjure up stories using people we come to know, even if we know them subconsciously or unconsciously, in order to make us understand that good feels good and bad feels bad. So as we know that good feels good and bad feels bad, we must use this information in the outside world or reality. Some of the things we dream are simply a reflection of our own thoughts and ideas, and this energy is creating an imagery to install a deeper notion to that thought or idea so we can act upon it. Some of the things we dream are simply a reflection of our own thoughts and ideas, and this energy is creating an image to install a deeper notion to that thought or image so we can act upon it. Perhaps the dreams we have are experiences that other people had during their time. As you will find out during this audiobook, we are a part of the universe. So then the people of yesterday become a part of the universe. And in using the universe, we consume their energy. We consume their memories. We consume their collective ideas and experiences from food, drink, the air and the soil. So figuratively speaking, our ideas and thoughts are not truly ours but a collection of thoughts and experiences from other beings, human or non-human or mammals, who challenge their energy towards us. These are just theories after all, along with hundreds of other theories people have of why and how we dream. Although we do not know the answer to the why, we do know that this has an impact on human life, and should be treated as neither good or bad, regardless of what dream you have or don't have. We dream simply because we are dreamers. Okay, I shall share with you a few exercises for your sleep. We shall start by creating a sleeping habit or ritual. If your sleeping patterns are irregular and unbalanced, you have imbalances within you. This must be corrected through changing and creating sleeping habits or rituals to get you into a balanced state for sleep. You can do this by removing any interferences like noise, your indulgences in TV or computer games, any forms of media with brightly lit screens in the hours before sleep. No caffeinated drinks after midday, no strenuous exercise and no checking your phone. Instead, you can listen to low, soothing music or read a book in bed. Do low-impact exercises or other relaxing things. You need to tell your body and mind that nighttime is for sleep and not for entertainment. So you need to find a way to wind down. Low-impact exercises in the hours leading up to sleep may help you use up your extra energy you have within you if you struggle getting to sleep. Do not perform high-intensity cardio or resistance or strength training, as this tells your body it needs to stay awake or work hard. You should be doing light-intensity aerobic exercises, which allows you to focus on breathing deeply, which assists the relaxation of your body. The best exercises for this would be taking a slow walk, doing yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, and other similar activities. You can also perform light housework duties. Any of these activities will relax your body and calm the mind, essential for getting you into a sleep state. Another useful tool to help you during sleep is meditation. Meditation can prove to be an effective tool if you have issues with constant chatter within you during the night. You do not need to sit with your legs crossed, wear any specific clothing or hum any specific tone. It just requires you to focus on breathing deeply and focusing on your breath. It can be done while reading, while brushing your teeth, while showering, while going for a walk, while sitting at your desk, or driving a vehicle. It can be done in any occasion. All that is required is to focus on your breath. When a thought comes in, focus on the breath. After a while, the voice in your head will realize you no longer want to play.
Listen to me,
and will become silent. Your body will become relaxed, and your mind will become still. This is the state you need to be in for sleep, and meditation can help achieve this. For a detailed guide on how to perform the basics of meditation, please refer to my website, which I will mention at the end of this audiobook. Overall, you need to develop good sleeping habits and rituals, maintaining a good quality sleep. Train your mind and body to create these patterns through trial and error and persistence. Your quality of life and daily energy depend on your sleep quality, and in mastering this area of your life, you will see it protrude into other areas of your life dramatically. Chapter 3. Exercise. We are made to move. There is a reason why we are made in this way. There is a reason why we are physiologically superior than all other species on this planet. If you were asked to design a species that would be perfect for the Earth, wouldn't it be similar to our current body? It is true we cannot soar like an eagle, or dive like a shark, but haven't we created such things to aid us already? We have planes, do we not? We have submarines, do we not? Human evolution would not be what it is today if we did not move. Castles would not be built. Paintings would be a blank canvas. Electricity would not be invented, and stars would be nothing more than dots in the sky. A Gulf War veteran named Arthur Borman, who served his country for 15 years, became disabled in combat, and was told by his doctors that he would never be able to walk on his own 2 feet again. This news hit Arthur hard, and after a few months of mentally agonizing pain, he told himself that he had enough, and who was someone else to tell him what he can and cannot do? By turning to a form of yoga, he struggled and strived to walk again, testing his body and most importantly his mind to achieve what was thought of as impossible. In less than a year, Arthur became more flexible, stronger, and physically fit than ever he was before. To this very day, he runs marathons and spreads his story across the world. You can find his amazing transformation and story on the social media platform YouTube. It is in our nature to move, as it is human nature to want to push the boundaries to what our body and mind are capable of. In doing so, we have collectively created the world you see through movement, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We are built to survive and built to revolutionize the world we create. We need to move to do this. We need to progress. Running water never goes stale. Being as we are naturally moving creatures and designed to move, not moving regularly can have drastic effects on the human body. your muscles become weak and unused. Your bones become weak and brittle. The fluid in your joints and organs decrease, thus furthering the risk of injury to yourself. Your immune system efficiency decreases and the body functions drop below a basal metabolic rate. In essence, you are giving up on your nature and thusly giving up on your life. And if you give up on your life, you are no longer living, merely existing. It is important to human beings that we keep moving. We are made on an average of 70% water. But what happens to water when it is still? The water becomes stale. It loses its nutrients and minerals, loses its freshness and is no longer drinkable. As we are mostly made of the same substance, in order to keep our bodies fresh and functioning, mobile and in balance, we need to keep moving. To quote a famous martial artist, actor, philosopher and legend, Bruce Lee, running water never goes stale, so you gotta just keep on flowing. Like water in a river, it will never go stale. The natural movement it has keeps the water fresh. Water flows with nature, and too we need to flow with nature. To do this, we must keep moving. Any form of exercise would be a good place to start. You do not need to become the best looking athlete, the healthiest person in the world or the next famous sports star. You do not need to train intensely. You just need to keep your body moving. Walk up the road and back. No roads? Walk through the fields. Swim in the sea. Jump up and down. Swing your arms. Stomp your feet. Any kind of movement is movement. Exercise for purpose. Exercise for pleasure. It is true in this age of technology, people are becoming more sedentary as daily life is becoming more of a leisure. People are inventing innovations that take away the hard work for us. Inventions that vibrate and stimulate your body and muscles to give you the illusion of exercise. New inventions of drugs to make you lose weight and pills to gain weight. Inventions where simply walking down the street to catch the bus or go to the shop has become motorized. All of these things, although very helpful, can become overused to a point where it is unnatural and goes against our very nature. While some people are looking for alternatives to make exercise less exerting for people who medically need it, others are taking these inventions and ideas to get out of moving their body. Consequently, all of these products and services are eluding you from what nature has intended for us, and has gotten to a point where people are completely disregarding any form of physical exercise, or saying they are in some cases allergic to moving. So crazy. There are many ways in which we can exercise, as we have invented many sports and activities, enough to last us a lifetime if you choose to try them all. So to suggest that you don't like such things or are allergic is complete nonsense, as I'm sure you haven't experienced all forms of movement or exercise. So I will tell you a few forms of exercise, and you can see if you have tried them all. Basketball, football, volleyball, tennis, cricket, golf, weightlifting, bodybuilding, calisthenics, body weight exercises, anaerobic exercises, swimming, diving, sailing, surfing, snowboarding, skating, martial arts, tai chi, yoga, all forms of movement. I challenge you to try them all. In finding a sport or activity you enjoy, forced body movement becomes forgotten and instills a pleasurable experience if you are indulging in something you enjoy. It will boost your confidence and give you a great feeling of joy as you are experiencing yourself through movement in a natural way. But be warned, like food and sleep, just enough will solve your problems, too much will kill you. Too much exercise will cause pain to the body. It is hard to overtrain or over-exercise, however it can be done. If you are injured or experiencing pain in the body from intense exercise, this is your body telling you to slow down. Express yourself. Everything anyone has ever done and will do, ultimately, is oneself expressing their emotions and thoughts. More specifically, in human movement, everything anyone has ever done or does is an expression of their emotions and thoughts, portrayed through the body in a physical manner. Martial artists express themselves through a combative form. Basketball players express themselves through a ball game. People who practice yoga express the human body through stretching and relaxation. Skateboarders express themselves through a form of transport. When a musician writes or plays a piece of music and is engulfed in the moment, they express their emotions through sound. And it can be a beautiful thing to witness. So if you have something to express and don't have an outlet, use movement, as all movement is a form of human expression. In these forms and any form of movement are challenges and barriers to face. As human nature is to progress and express, we overcome challenges and are constantly pushing our own limits of what is perceived to be capable. A lot of people use sports or some kind of activity as an art form to overcome their barriers. Barriers which are physical and mentally exuberating. In doing so, the lessons learned flow into other areas of a person's life. This is the art of movement. The only exercise in this chapter is to commit at least 30 minutes of your 24 hours per day to some kind of physical activity. Chapter 4. Mentality. Everything stems from the mind. Whatever has happened and whatever will happen will always come from a thought, an idea or impulse someone had. Every thought we have, every movement we make comes from the mind. Every book somebody wrote, every invention somebody invented, every piece of art painted all originates from the same place, and that place is the mind. The mind is said to be one of the most powerful tools on this earth, as it has shaped the very earth you see today. Every emotion you felt started as an electric impulse in your mind. Every memory you have is stored there. Your inner monologue is there. Your addictions are there, your values and your personality, the way you act, your likes and dislikes, your attractions, your dispositions, your fear, your happiness, all start in the mind. A great man and philosopher, Descartes, said, "I think, therefore I am." This still stands true and will always hold a great meaning. Whatever you think, feel, smell, touch and see is what becomes you internally. Your brain calculates these senses and tells the mind how to act in accordance with what was received. Being so, you can also tell your mind what to think and what to feel. You in fact can control your own mind. If you think to yourself that you have conflicts, issues or problems, you are committing self-sabotage, as what you think is what you feel. If you feel happy, your physiology will change. You may start to smile, recall happy at times or stand up straight. If you think of these things that make you sad, your head will probably drop, and your shoulders will close in. What you think has an effect on your being, and once you become conscious of this, you will be presented with the opportunity to change your thinking, thus changing your being. The famous Canadian actor and comedian Jim Carrey spoke on an American TV show called The Oprah Winfrey Show. He spoke of when he was financially broke, trying to make ends meet and striving for success. He said that every night he would go to Mulholland Drive, a road in LA and overlooks the city, visualizing himself becoming successful. He did this every night, and soon his thoughts became things. He told his mind what he wanted every night, and so what he thought of became his experience. Take note that the way the mind works and operates can be changed. Your thoughts and emotions can be altered. Things that make you fearful can make you excited. Things that you are addicted to can become a thing of your past. Places that scare you will become your playground. Be conscious of the fact that you can change the inner workings of how and what you perceive and live. Be conscious that you can change your world around you, because everything stems from the mind. Observe, and you shall think. Think, and you shall feel. Whatever you come into contact with in the outer world, be it a song, a video game, a commercial on TV, a concert, a book, a person, a phrase someone said, a car you've seen, something in the window, an advert on the bus, the attractive person who smiled at you when passing by. All of these things and much more, both consciously and unconsciously, affect how you think, feel and act. As mentioned in the food chapter, whatever you eat becomes a part of you. Whatever you take in through the senses becomes information, and this information is processed in the brain unconsciously. This information is then sent to your emotional reflexes, feelings, body organs, and affects how you think, feel, walk and talk, thus becoming a part of your experience and becoming a part of you. To the untrained mind, the outer world affects your inner world. Because your inner world is affected by outside things, you experience the outer world within you. But if you train your mind how to think, how to act and react, how to interpret things, how to block things, you begin to experience the inner world in the outer physical world, be it wants, desires, goals or experiences. If you do not control your inner world, the outer world will take control of the inner world. Thus, you lose physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. A bodybuilding champion, famous actor, governor, businessman, and all-time legend Arnold Schwarzenegger stated during multiple interviews that he would not have been able to achieve half of the things that he has achieved if it wasn't for his immense control over his mind. If you do not know about this man's legacy, I implore you research about him. He rewired his mind to achieve the life he wanted, from being a nobody living in Austria to become the governor of California. Just for the record, he is still human like you and I, and he has the same brain as you and I. By no means am I implying you should change who you are. I am implying that you should embrace your true self and let nobody or nothing stand in front of who you truly are and want to become, even the limitations your mind places on you. Think for purpose, not for pleasure. Being as our outward experience affects our inward experience and vice versa, and being as everything stems from the mind, we need to keep it in balance and be consciously aware of when we are indulging in things that are not assisting us in our purpose of life. When we indulge in the wrong thoughts, it can change our being. When we see something that affects our state of mind in a bad way, we need to be aware of this and change and not follow the rabbit down the hole. Being so, the mind needs to be exercised and trained just like a missile. We need to train our mind to think rightly for our purpose and not for our short-lived pleasures. When a male or female sees a beautiful and attractive mate, it is inevitable for the untrained mind to look in awe at the aesthetics of said person and let their mind conjure up all sorts of images, ideas and fantasies. When we are met with a decision to have the cake or have the orange, the untrained mind will immediately pick the cake. We need to think for our purpose. We need to think long term. If left to its own devices, the untrained mind will live for every pleasurable desire and take control over your wants and needs, eluding you into a state of no control. So take control of your mind and think for purpose. The way to do this is develop your awareness. So the next time you are met with difficulties in thinking for purpose or pleasure, consider developing your awareness by taking a step back, taking a deep breath, and thinking if this option or goal is truly going to give you purpose or pleasure. Take control of your thoughts and reconnect yourself with your mind. Take control of the mind, and you can control your world. The enemy within. You believe that voice in your head, or the inner monologue, is who you are. You believe it to be you. You associate yourself with it because it speaks like you. It sounds like you. You believe it to be your best friend. And you believe it does what is best for you. I can tell you, this is not true. That voice in your head is not you, and it is not your best friend. Humans have an inner monologue in their head that tells them what to do and what to say, and that voice in your head is nothing more than a tool for you to use. You are the wielder of the hammer that is the voice, and if you do not use it for its purpose, it will use you. Every tool needs a master, every ship needs a captain, and every plane needs a pilot. Otherwise it will become erratic and use you as the tool for its purpose. You will be living your life on autopilot, not knowing one thing from the next, not thinking, not taking control of your life. You may say that voice in your head is your worst enemy. It is your own personal bully. It is the jester sitting on the king's throne, pulling all the strings, and you, the rightful king, have come to claim back your kingdom. Welcome to the war within. That voice in your head is not always doom and gloom. The inner monologue gives you options, opinions, decisions, and directions. Most people do not train their mind and so do not control the outcome of these things. And the untrained mind and voice is against you. It seeks to destroy you and tells you what to do and what to say. Tells you to do things which are the easiest, which are the most pleasurable, and which is most comfortable.
I couldn't get out of bed, but there's no rush. 5 more minutes of sleep.
The inner voice does not like change and does not like growth unless you take control. For example, if you were walking past a vending machine and saw a chocolate bar, the voice most likely will say,
"Ooh, look at that. That looks nice. Why don't you buy it? I know you're not hungry, but just imagine the taste. It will taste so nice, won't it? Go on, just buy it. It looks so nice. Go on, buy it. You know the taste of it because I'm sending that taste to your mouth right now. Look at your mouth filling up with saliva. Remember how nice it is. Why don't you buy it? Go on, go ahead, treat yourself."
At this point, the untrained mind will think the voice is telling them to buy it, and most likely cave into the temptation, without even giving a second thought. But if you just take a step back and listen more carefully, the voice is giving you an option. The voice is testing your willpower and temptation. Buy it or not. The voice is a tool and will be your student as long as you are aware and take control. It has unorthodox methods, yes, but once you understand its purpose and ways, you can become more aware that the voice in your head is in fact helping you to grow. It can be your worst enemy or your best friend, depending on how you treat the situation you are presented with. Ability to take control of thoughts will change your entire life and how you deal with situations and people, and give you the mental edge to chase and achieve your dreams. So the next time you are presented with a decision, no matter how small, take a step back and think of what your inner monologue is saying. Being consciously aware of your thought patterns will give you the ability to take control and begin to change the pattern if needed. So next time you are faced with a decision, temptation, or option, take a step back, take a deep breath, and become aware of thought patterns and what the mind is saying. If you shall falter the first few times and give in to temptation, do not worry, for this is a learning experience. And the more you become aware, the easier it will become. The mind is like a missile after all, and needs regular work. Do this regularly, and you will take back your throne. Begin to change subtle things around your environment as well, which you feel are not serving your purpose or your goals or dreams. From the smallest to the largest. Perhaps it's a picture on your wall. A TV show that you watch is messing with your mind. Perhaps an indulgence you have. Perhaps an ornament or lamp. Even a close friend or family member. They can gossip and tell you things that you do not need to hear. They might not be serving a purpose for you. If this happens, replace it with something or someone that will aid in your purpose and help you grow. Change that TV program to a book. Change that picture for another that stimulates joy rather than sexual sensations, depression or hunger. Trade in your cigarettes for a musical instrument or sport. Associate with people who educate you and give you insights rather than gossip and discuss mundane things. By changing your environment, you will change your thoughts, and changing your thoughts will change how you perceive life. Meet like-minded people in the things that you are interested in by going to where like-minded people are. If you like art, go to art exhibitions and converse with people. If you like cars, go to car shows and racetracks. If you like ballet, go to dance class and learn. If you want to be something other than what you are now, then you need not let your current social situation rule your decisions. Talk and associate with like-minded people. Look around in your local area for upcoming events, shows, courses, workshops or activities that you may want to try. Meet and converse and connect with people. Learn more about the things that you enjoy and are passionate about, and you will soon find pleasure and enjoyment socializing with the right kind of people. Chapter 5 Relationships. Love thyself before loving others. Before developing or having a relationship with somebody or something, you must first develop a healthy relationship with yourself. You can do this by following the guide in this audiobook. It is important to develop your own relationship. Your relationship with food, with sleep, with movement, and with controlling emotions like anger and lust. The way you develop relationships with others comes from the way you develop the relationship with yourself. Not developing self-relations can cause upsets, which could lead to emotional and psychological pain down the road. For example, if you do not develop a relationship with your confidence or articulation, speaking to a person or in groups, speaking your thoughts and feelings may feel difficult to you, or may come across in a way which you did not intend. Failure to develop these relations can also affect your physiology. For example, failure to develop your social skills in groups will cause your body to portray someone who is shy. Although it was not your intention, it is an automatic physiological setback. So you become a shy person, and so lower your head and slouch your shoulders. However, being able to develop self-relations in certain areas of your life can drastically change the way you deal with situations and how you can come across to others. Self-development is an ongoing process and can take years to get to a place where a person feels seamless with themselves. Not to say that one specific thing you wish to work on will take years to perfect. You will be surprised at how fast you can change a person when you truly hold the desire and willpower to do so, no matter how long the perceived perfection is to oneself. It is an ongoing process which is worth doing, as your life will become much more pleasant and fulfilling. Loving others. Whether you like it or not, you are not the only human on this planet. Like it or not, we need each other to survive as a species, and we will always need other people, be it close friends, family, lovers, or even coaches or advisors to assist us. Humans long for connectedness and experience compassion or love with another being. Having somebody there you can talk to, someone to understand you, and someone to love you for who you are and who you want to be can alleviate so much pain and anxiety, knowing you have support from another person. And likewise, there are people that count on you and see you as someone to talk to because you alleviate their pain. We sometimes get so caught up in our own life that we do not realize we are changing other people's lives every time we speak and are seen. A simple smile at someone can change their entire outlook on life. I remember a time when I got the bus home once when I was about 22 and sat at the front as I only had a few stops. An elderly lady got on the bus and looked at me in a vile way. I simply smiled at her and asked her if she would like to take my seat. Her facial expression suddenly changed as she smiled and said,
"Thank you."
Soon after, she turned to me and said,
"You know, not many youngsters would do that."
"Do what?" I replied in a confused manner.
"Not many youngsters would give up their seat for someone."
"Oh, I do apologize. There may be some bad people my age, but I assure you, we're not all the same," I said with a smile. And she simply smiled and said,
"Well, I guess not."
Her thoughts of young people were that we had bad manners and didn't care about our seniors, perhaps from previous experience or other reasons unknown to me. But after our brief exchange, I could see that her perception had changed, just from showing a little compassion towards another human being. We also rely on other people to help us with our work, our finances, fix and repair our cars or boilers, send us tax rebates, assist with designs, create technologies that we cannot, help us when we cannot. The list can go on and on. If your computer breaks and you don't know how to fix it, someone else will know, and you will most likely contact that person. We all need each other for support on any level, because the world would be really lonely if it was just you here by yourself. With modern technologies, our ways of connecting have become so easy, we merely press a few buttons and hey presto, we have connection. While this has changed the way we interact and live, it has become somewhat of a leisure for people to completely disregard human interaction and would rather converse via internet or device. Connecting over the internet may get your message across, but will never be able to send the emotions and feelings across that you have for that person. Simply ask someone in a long-distance relationship who connects via the internet on a daily basis, and they will tell you how important it really is to have the emotional connection with whom they love. Like everything else, we must live for purpose and not indulge in too much of something that is not naturally good for human beings. While the internet and social media has given us the ability and opportunity to connect with cultures and countries worldwide, too much fake connection will lead to imbalances and create social anxiety and stress. You will be living a life behind a screen and not being able to connect with anyone. So avoid living life behind a keyboard and view the untold beauty of the world in real life. Communication is key. Whatever we desire in life, and whatever we choose to become, in any industry, career, hobby or lifestyle, whenever we need services, products or supplies, it will always require communication with another human being. There are a few ways we communicate these days, but fundamentally these are verbally and non-verbally, with the former being the most common. Everything we do will require communication with another human being, and everything that has been done required communication between one person or addressing an entire nation. The importance of communicating is immense, and relaying the correct message can make or break an outcome. Therefore, it is important you as a human become aware and understand in order for humans to progress, in order for you to progress, communication is needed. Communication can also make or break a relationship with both yourself and other people. If you do not communicate with your own thoughts and feelings and let them run rampant, your own emotions and perceptions will take control over your life and lead you into despair. If you do not communicate with family members and let family matters go unspoken, there will be tension within the household. Tensions when conversing and lead to further problems and further tension. Failure to communicate with your partner, husband or wife may prime your relationship to end. Failure to say I love you, failure to give gratitude, failure to show compassion, being quiet or neglecting communication with people around you and yourself will cause pain, suffering, feelings of loneliness and depression. People want and need to be heard for the relationship to progress and develop. Even if what you have to say may hurt the receiving party, it needs to be said nonetheless. Whether it's the relationship with yourself or your relationship with an entire nation, don't neglect communicating, as communication is key to progression. The words that hurt the most are the words that are unspoken. Some people stay in relationships both with themselves and with another person, which can be bad too. Some people stay in relations because they fear something greater, and so they stay in comfort. Some people stay because they believe they cannot achieve or become anything greater, so they stay in comfort. Some people smoke to help calm stress, anxiety and pain instead of dealing with the root of the problem. And some people stay with a partner who they do not enjoy being with because they believe they cannot find anyone better. Or they do not have the strength to leave that person because leaving them would hurt them emotionally. Or they are not willing to make the change. But which would you rather have? Some form of happiness or potential true happiness? Some kind of love or true love? Short-term pleasure or long-term pleasure? The way to find out if you are in this kind of relationship with yourself or with another is by communicating honestly and truthfully. Love and let go. As mentioned, communication and being in a healthy relationship with yourself and with others is important. However, some relationships are not meant to be. Some relationships converse, but still stay in a painful place emotionally. These type of relationships are conflicting relationships. Perhaps you have inner conflicts. Perhaps you want something in life, but your values are holding you back. Perhaps conflicts between husband and wife values. Perhaps you wish a person lived a certain way, and no matter how much you try and help, the person will not change. Perhaps you are sick of being a certain way, or indulging in habits that bring you pain that you cannot kick. All of these things are conflicting emotions and values, and something which connecting with cannot help. Only acceptance, acknowledgement, and pure understanding and love that some things cannot be changed. Some things are not meant to be. Some things are out of your control. And some things are just things and can be let go. If you wish somebody would change, accept them for who they are with love and compassion, then let it go. For it is more painful in the long term if you try to change the unchangeable than it is if you accept, feel the pain, acknowledge it is no longer part of your life, and let it go. The short-term pain of letting a conflict or situation go will soon fade, and you will be met with joy, understanding, and happiness. Chapter 6. Money. Now, I understand money isn't a fundamental natural thing in life, but the way that society is built, money rules the world. So in order to assist people in making the right decisions with their money, I decided to include some principles in this audiobook to help you manage your money and accumulate wealth. Never spend more than you earn. With all the temptation and wonderful experiences to experience, it can be very easy to spend all of your hard-earned cash on new clothing, cars, games, concerts, trips to exciting destinations, and if you have a kind heart, to families, friends, charities, and other causes. While spending your money on things that you want, need, or desire can be easily done, overspending can also be easily done, especially if you do not have a good relationship with your finances. No matter how financially rich you are, not knowing how to treat money to its full potential will leave you abundantly broke. There are recent cases throughout history where people come into some money and within a few years were worse off than receiving the former. One story that comes to mind is a man who lives in England. He was an ordinary bloke, working class, working as a plumber. He spent most of his life getting into debt and paying it off to get more into debt. This was his way of living. Every so often, he would take the chance on the national lottery, and after a while of betting and sheer luck, became a multi-millionaire overnight. But as you can imagine, for anyone winning the lottery, it would be a dream come true. But as he had not developed a good financial relationship, soon his multi-million winnings became in excess of minus 50 million in debt. Spending his money on luxury vehicles, jewellery, houses, female company, and much more. He never invested a single coin. To this day he still remains in debt and is back working as a plumber, and will spend the rest of his life trying to pay back the money he owes. No matter how much money you make, it will leak from your pockets like water if you do not seal the hole in your financial relationship. So the first rule regarding money is to never spend more than you earn. Never be tempted into spending your monthly wages on a single thing. Even if it is for an investment or something for someone you love. Spending more than you earn continuously will leave you more broke than you were yesterday. Money is high maintenance. Do one thing wrong and your finances will come crashing down. Treat it with respect and it will work wonders for you. Time versus money. Money versus time. Developing a good relationship with money will eventually give you financial security. You will have no outstanding debt. You will have money for holidays and new experiences. No longer worry if you can afford food or pay your house mortgage. Being financially secure will relieve a lot of stress and anxiety from you, your partner, and your family. While this is a great way to live, ultimately, To keep financially secure, you still need to make money to pay your bills and utilities, meaning you give your time to a business or to your business in return for funds to keep your current lifestyle. As mentioned, this lifestyle is very pleasurable and very rewarding, and many people love to keep it that way. However, for some this is not enough, and in this situation, some feel to be always trading their time for cash, trading their ages for wages, trading health for financial wealth. The most successful and financially rich people to ever live knew that in order for them to get back their time, they will need to use their money earned to create systems and infrastructures. To be truly financially free and doing whatever they wanted would require working hard and, most importantly, working smart. Innovating ways to make money work for them instead of them working for money. Sir Richard Branson of England knew this and created an empire called Virgin, from selling records to owning an airline, from living and working in a small boat on a canal, to living and owning his own private island, from nothing to everything he desired. Anthony Robbins, a coach and businessman from America, knew the relationship you need with money and went from being broke, living in his car, working cleaning jobs at night, to become the owner of 15 plus businesses and grosses over 15 billion per year combined. He knew in order to get the life he wanted, he needed to trade his time for money and work smart, then develop a system in which he could trade money for time. If you want to manage your finances to an extent where you never have to worry about money again, you must first develop a good relationship with money. Then begin to use your money smartly in order for you, your partner, and your family to become financially free. Money is not the reason to work. Money is merely a resource to give you more opportunities in life. Your finances mirror your value. Many people have tried to go against the grain in life and almost never come out winning. I have lived around and with people who believe that the world owes them in some way, or that they can go against the grain of nature and still come out on top. Few people get by in life by bullying others or cheating others out of money. Some believe that the world is every man and woman for themselves, and that it is a dog-eat-dog world. All for one and one for none. If you place no value on nature's way and no value on other people, you are heading down a dark path, my friend. Going against your own natural values and the values of others will only push yourself away from others and invite only pain and suffering. While some have achieved money going against the grain, they have tarnished their values in the process and live a life of regret, resentment and pain. There is much more to life than making some money, and the best way to live up to your own values and that of others is not to pursue money, but pursue your own progression. The money will come. You get paid for the value you place on yourself and the value you give to others. A famous public speaker and best-selling author from the early 1930s era, Napoleon Hill, knew that you get paid for the value you give to other people, who to this day is still well known and respected for his work and contributions. He made millions helping others, not for money, but for compassion, because he valued compassion and the compassion of others. The creator of the social media platform Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, has become one of the richest men in the world from creating a computer software that helps the world stay in touch with each other. He gave the world value in the form of making it easier for us to connect with one another. He did this by having an idea and acting on it. He valued togetherness and wanted others to be connected. To this day, he claims to be always learning and offering his values to others, both in his career and charity donations. Whatever value you place on yourself and the value you wish to give to others will reflect in your finances and other areas of your life. If you wish to be financially rich, then you must be valuably rich. Life will pay any price you ask for. Whatever you think is what you feel, and what you feel becomes your experience, both inwardly and outwardly. If you wish to be healthy, then think, feel, and act as someone who is healthy. If you wish to dress in a sophisticated way, then think and be sophisticated. If you want to be financially wealthy, then think and be financially wealthy. You will soon see that whatever price you put onto yourself and ask for, you will receive it. If you wish to become a champion, ask for it, and you will see the universe answer. If you wish to become an actor, ask for it, and the opportunity will present itself. Whatever you want in life can be yours. All you have to do is simply ask, and it shall be given. While this may seem simple enough, it does not mean ask, sit back, and wait for it to happen. You have to move. You have to act upon it because nobody will give it to you. You have to go out and get it. The universe only answers to those who move with it. Life will pay any price you ask of it if you are willing to put in the work to get it. When you want something so bad and you ask for it and put in the work, the universe has a tendency to give you what you want. If you ask for nothing, then you will receive nothing. If you think about pain and suffering, you will get pain and suffering. You do not need to ask verbally, just your inner monologue is enough. But if you speak it into existence, it will work more for you. So if the enemy within is saying,
I don't deserve this. I can't have that.
Then you most likely will not have it. If you tell yourself and the universe what you want, and you show yourself and the universe you are ready to receive it, then you will get what you asked for. If you ask for millions in amounts of money, you will start to get ideas, insights into achieving such things. If you want to find love, you will start meeting people and opportunities will present themselves to you. But you must not wait for it. Get moving and be open to it. A famous American actor, screenwriter and producer, Sylvester Stallone, during his early career was trying to get his movie script for Rocky produced. He was refused by many producers, but he did not give up, and nor did he give in. He kept telling himself and the universe what he wanted, permitting and asking for it, and through persistence, hard work, and approaching a production team for the 9th time, he eventually found a producer willing to work with him, and then he went on to sell out the box office with an award-winning film and launched his successful career. He had a price and he asked for it. He moved. He did not give in nor did he give up, and he got what he asked for. Another example is a mixed martial artist named Conor McGregor from Ireland. When he was younger, he had an idea that he wanted to be the best martial artist in the world. He told the universe and himself what he wanted. He put in the work necessary every day training. He became unemployed and had problems with his family, but he did not give in, nor did he give up. By training hard and believing in himself and what he wanted, he went on to be a multi-weight champion, and also fought with the best boxer in the world. If you listen to the way he speaks, you can tell he's very in touch with nature. Money versus happiness. While money seems to be the main driver for most people in this modern age, it will never be able to give you eternal happiness. Money does not give you happiness, nor does material possessions. It may give you some sort of satisfaction or temporary feeling of happiness, but I assure you, it is not true happiness or true joy. Similar to buying junk food, buying fancy clothes or a new phone, the feeling of satisfaction soon fades and you are met with more desire to find happiness through buying more things and earning more money, just hoping the abundance of material possessions will give you happiness. True happiness can only be achieved internally, and no material possession or amount of money will give you it. Material things along with money is nothing more than a tool and resources to give you more opportunities to find true happiness within. Fabrice Granda, a French tech entrepreneur, gave up his net worth of $100 million because, reflecting back on all the luxury things he had in his life, like cars, houses, his 20 acres of land, his personal butler was nothing compared to his happiness he got from his family, friends, and life experiences, like going on vacation or trying new activities. There are many cases where wealthy people gave up their riches because it was not fulfilling their natural desire to be happy. One can become eluded by the quest for cash, and as mentioned before, it is a means to an end. For true happiness is priceless, and it cannot be bought with material possessions. Chapter 7. The Connection. The individual human connection. Each subject covered throughout this audiobook all coexist with each other and cannot be fully mastered without another subject. As mentioned before, everything stems from the mind. What we observe and digest, be it food, thoughts, inward or outward experiences, all become a part of the mind. If one was to master each subject mentioned in this audiobook, would mean becoming the master of your own human experience and have everlasting happiness and true joy. This is referred by some as the path to enlightenment, referred by some as reaching the heavens, referred to some as nirvana. Become conscious that everything we do in this world is all connected, and you have the ability within you to alleviate yourself from any pain and suffering. This is truly a blessing, in order for us to achieve happiness, peace, harmony, enlightenment, perfection, tranquility, whatever you want to call it. We must master each rule, thus mastering and controlling our life experience. To quote a spiritual activist, author and teacher, Marianne Williamson, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking, so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. The global human connection. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. As we are connected to each other, just our enlightened presence alone can cause other people to stop suffering and invite love into their life. If you want humanity to be the kind and loving place it is, then we must all face our own fears instead of hiding behind it, because all fear is false evidence appearing real. False stimulants and narcotics to elude your true being, the earth, our body, mind and spirit. We, as mentioned before, we are all made of the same stuff, and all come from the same origin. So although we may look different in height, weight, body type, skin colour, race, and come from different backgrounds, we all are the same. We all bleed the same colour. We all eat, sleep, laugh and cry the same way. We all came into life the same way, and we shall all leave the same way. This is nature. Regardless of where you come from and the language you speak, we all come from the same place, and that is the universe. We are all one species. We are all global consciousness. We are one planet. We are one universe. We just appear different to the human eye, that's all. Each of us are a grain of sand that make up the beach. Our emotions and minds are also connected. Our human emotions can affect how others feel and think. For example, if I felt happy and content with my life and was walking through a town, my emotions cause my physiology to change. Thus, I walk briskly with a smile and a glint in my eye. Undoubtedly, people will notice me, because exuberating happiness and contentment gets noticed more than suffering and pain if you are self-aware. When people see this both consciously and unconsciously, it will have an emotional change within them that will cause themselves to change because it releases a different chemical in the body. An English author and martial artist, Jeff Thompson, said that he was teaching his students one day and his martial arts master turned up to his class to greet him. His students did not know who he was, but when entering the dojo, they could feel a huge presence of energy in the room. I'm sure you must have met someone who displayed this kind of presence before. Be it their aura or energy field, people like this who have been cultivating their enlightenment have so much love and happiness, it's literally pouring out of their body and onto others. Their presence liberates others. We, like most animals, are connected on a telepathic level too. But through the ages we have not used this ability and have almost forgotten that we pose such a gift. A few modern examples of this would be knowing when someone is going to say something before they say it. Thinking of someone and that person contacting you. Another would be mothers using this ability with their newly born babies to nurture them, knowing what they need for survival. A mother's instinct works telepathically. How can we communicate with domestic pets? They cannot talk but yet understand us and we understand them. They cannot understand our words, they understand our thoughts. All this is done automatically and naturally. We have just forgotten how to use this ability to its full potential and are unconscious of its own working. Don't forget that we are connected universally across all species. To live is to love. Love is the greatest energy in the whole universe. No other feeling or energy can even come close to its amazing power. It has brought many together and saved many lives, but can also cause people distress and pain. Like everything else, it is how your mind perceives and treats such power. You can either make the pain consume you, or train your mind to deal with such energy. Training yourself to understand and deal with these forces of love will change your entire life and those around you. As love is the most powerful force known to humankind, it is imperative we learn to live in accordance with love. Love in your career, love for your spouse, love for yourself, love for your neighbour and love for your enemy. If you approach every situation with compassion and love, your pursuit of happiness and peace will become effortless. Master love, and you will master your life. While love is everything, love can also blind people at times and delude people into perceiving other things as an equivalent to love or path to love. Humans fall in love with certain food, celebrities, brands, products, technologies, money, power, fictional characters, sexual desires, or a certain look or trend. Some people have an unhealthy love with money and believe being rich will bring them love and happiness. Some people follow a person's brand or a company's brand with such love that some have sacrificed their life for it. Some have even legally married objects for their love of something. Some have been arrested, hospitalized, and even murdered for things in which they perceived to love or had strong affections for. As it is nobody's place to tell another human being who or what to love, I believe it is important to make you aware that love for other things may be all good and innocent. However, being consumed in the wrong type of love will have the opposite effect, a placebo effect for an underlying conflict within you or with another person which needs addressing. For example, some people love money so much they're willing to break the law and cause others pain in order to be rich. They have a conflict with money and values of others. Some may love celebrities so much they tattoo their whole body with said person or break into their house. They have a conflict with their own relationships. Others may copulate with a large amount of people to satisfy urges. They have a conflict with self-control and sexual desires. These things are inner conflicts which need to be addressed by communicating with yourself to find the real reason. It may be loneliness, previous bad experiences, uncontrollable lust, strong desire for change, or something more simple as not listening to something. Once you find your reason, you can take control and fix that area of your life instead of hiding behind perceived love and affection. True love cannot be found in material possessions. True love comes from within. Chapter 8 Spirituality. Untapped energy. We pose within us a magnificent gift, a gift which we do not yet completely understand, and a gift so unused we do not know its full power. The gift of how Shaolin monks can withstand a spear to the throat. The gift of how Eastern medicine uses energy to heal the human body. The gift of how a person can withstand such pain against all odds. We have a gift of energy inside us which we can cultivate and control. Chinese people call this energy qi, but to the Western world this energy goes unused and becomes stale. There have been a few cases where a Westerner was diagnosed with a terminal condition and could not be treated with Western medicine, but by seeking spiritual teachers and doctors in the Western world, who practice using this qi energy, were cured of their illness or at the very least alleviated their pain. There's a story of a girl who lived in Australia who had a postural defect. Doctors and surgeons wouldn't treat her as the risk was too high. So she moved to China and began learning the art of Tai Chi. Within a year, her postural defect was completely gone. After visiting doctors back in her hometown, they were baffled of her progress and how she managed to fix her postural defects. Another short story is someone I've already mentioned, Bruce Lee, a martial artist, was told by his doctors early in his career that he would never be able to walk again. After being bedridden for a few months, he was able to get up and walk, and eventually start martial arts again. He mentioned during an interview that it was Qi that helped him overcome his disability. Inner energy can be harnessed and cultivated to give us more strength and longevity. Many Tai Chi masters have lived for over 100 years and claim that this inner energy to be the cause. In a moment, I shall tell you some exercises which can help you harness this kind of energy. Western medicine and science cannot read this energy as it is somewhat unexplored, and we lack the technology to measure this energy. But completely disregarding it is not wise, as it has helped many people and will continue to help many more. Awaken the soul. A lot of people in society have not been given the knowledge and the workings of our spirit and how to connect with it. Information regarding spirituality in society is somewhat lacking and become dismissive when discussed. Be it lack of our own ignorance, not being educated on it within schools, or our egotistical mind denying such things exist because we do not see any physical or material gains. Whatever the reasoning is, it would be foolish to completely ignore the fact that we have a spirit within us. Understanding and accepting this truth will be a turning point in your life and how you perceive the world. I say this because I know from experience. I know that there is much more to our existence and life that we can see with our eyes. When I was younger, my daily life consisted of waking up, playing video games, smoking cigarettes, fantasizing about women, and hanging out with like-minded people of the same interests. All our conversations were about how well our skills were on video games, how great the latest game release will be, gossiping of others that were in our social life, and gloating of our best achievements that to some were easily achieved. Every day my life consisted of an egotistical contest to see who was the greatest. I'm not saying indulging in video games are bad or don't have value, as I have learnt a lot from playing video games and continue to stay within the community. But like everything, too much indulgence in anything is bad for your health. One day I went to the shop with my cousin to purchase some junk food, and on our way back home, we were intercepted by 5 guys looking for a fight. After being kicked in the face multiple times and losing what little self-respect I thought I had, my body went into shock and began my downward spiral. Over the course of 2 weeks, I began to question everything around me. The way I was living, the way I was acting, and knowing that the person I want to become was so far from what I was would be an impossible feat. Thus started getting suicidal thoughts, listening to suicidal music, having sleepless nights and getting consumed in my own consumption. One night I had a nightmare. I was walking down a corridor and came to a door which had the word life written on it. When I reached out to open this door, a demon came behind me and began to strangle my throat. At this moment I awoke, heart racing and body sweating from the experience. Afraid of living and afraid of dying, I accepted that my life was no longer mine, and suddenly a voice shouted, "Enough!" so loud that it broke the darkness holding me prisoner. My heartbeat slowed down. My mind became clear and silent. I closed my eyes and began to focus my intent inwardly to find out where that voice came from. By looking inward, my whole being began to vibrate, and a tsunami of peace and tranquility began to flow within me. I lost track of time and soon after awoke from this blissful experience. Not a blemish of dark or evil thoughts were stirring inside of me, and believe me, I checked vigorously. I had awoken a force within me that I did not know existed. I had awoken my soul and true being. I believe everyone has this force of energy within them. Even if you cannot feel it or find it, it is there, my friend, and it is awaiting to talk with you. You only need to look deep inside your body and your soul to discover that we are much more. We are destined to live. The next chapter. People assume that after we go, it is the end of the road to our life. Our book of life comes to a close, and that we are destined to a 6x2 hole in the ground, and that's it. But our journey does not end with a vertical stone above our heads. We are not just flesh and blood. We are not just here, then gone forever. There is life after the death of the human experience, and understanding that we have a spirit within us is fundamentally understanding our nature. I'm sure you're thinking right now I'm sounding like a complete nutcase, but it's closer to the truth than you think. It has been written in many religions, ancient civilizations and cultures, and spiritual teachings across the globe. No matter the age of man, we always come to understand this truth, that we are part of a wider picture. Our human experience may end, but our spiritual experience is just beginning. Consider our human life as food. When we eat a banana, the banana becomes a part of us. It essentially transforms into a part of a human, and the banana skin gets discarded, degrading back into energy for the earth. The same thing happens to the human body. After all, we are not just our bodies. We are made up from the universe, and the universe is not just flesh and bone. We are simply experiencing the human life in this moment, and after this, we must go back to our origins. When we move on, the universe consumes our spirit, and becomes a part of the universe, but in another form. Not just human, but something else. Our bodies degrade back into energy, and are scattered throughout the earth, for other living creatures and beings. We may offer them insights, appear in their dreams, be consumed by them for human progression, and so on. Another example is when we eat meat or fish. When we consume that animal, we also consume their life experience. So if that animal experienced discomfort, pain, or torture, their emotions and energy get consumed by our bodies, and that becomes our experience. Tell me, have you ever eaten a fish or piece of meat, and soon after you felt miserable? Soon after you felt down? Or soon after you felt like arguing with someone? If you constantly consume someone's bad experience of life, your life experience will also be bad. But as we are thinking animals and have free will, we fear the unknown and think the worst in things before we think the best. Perhaps it's natural for humans to think negative first from our survival ancestry. But being so, to truly accept that the human body is not yours, but was given to you so you can have the human experience, is to understand truly that we are not just human, but something greater. We belong to a greater force. To understand this greater force, you only need look inward. Again, following these rules and practices, specifically silencing the voice in your head and being silent by meditating, you can begin to understand that our purpose of progression goes beyond the human experience into something so complex and dimensionally dynamic. Mere words cannot begin to explain it. Those that are aware of such things can tap into this understanding and be able to find peace in knowing that the great wizard is bringing us home. Cultivating energy. We are still yet to understand how to cultivate it completely, but this can be done by using Tai Chi, meditating, a form of yoga, or performing slow body movements and focusing your intent inward. Imagine the energy within you circulating through your body. It is said in Chinese philosophy that your body's energy is stored in your dantian, or lower abdomen area. So focus on that area and through movement, ignite the fire within you and begin to cultivate your inner energy. Focus on the energy within and feel it within you as it is who you are. Be one with nature. To understand life, you must experience it. Theory only counts for so much. Action is needed. In order to understand nature, you must bathe in it. If you live in a city or urban jungle, I implore you to go out to the countryside or to the park at least twice a week and be one with nature. Now, I am not encouraging you to strip off your material clothing and dance in the fields of reeds, but go into nature and feel the grass between your toes. Feel the wind in your hair. Feel what life is all about. Understand what we are. Develop a relationship with who we are naturally. It will calm your mind, calm your soul and reconnect you with nature. Take the family or friend or go alone and have an abundant experience. As mentioned many times in this audiobook, meditating and focusing on the breath in many forms will undoubtedly bring you closer to our nature and beyond. Developing a strong relation with your spirit, the universe and how things work will bring you a sense of peace and develop a deep understanding of what life is really about. Chapter 9. What Science Tells Us. This section is not the fundamentals of living a human life, but is in this book as I hope it will give you an insight to who we are and where we come from, based on our findings and research throughout history. There is an abundance of evidence and research which suggests different things. The information in this section is of the collective research and findings from renowned historians, scientists, gurus, and all other subcategories, so all credit belongs to the respective people in their fields of work. The following information is just a snippet and should be taken with a heavy pinch of salt. After all, it's our nature to dispute such things. So here is what we know, or don't. From a scientific point of view, information regarding what we have come to understand can be extremely vast and complex. However, as this audiobook is about the fundamentals, I'll try to keep in accordance with nature and life. I will explain what modern science has come to know about nature. From physics, everything in life is made of the same molecular structure called an atom. The sun, space, earth, grass, trees, cars, food, dogs, books, your mobile phone, or the sofa, and even us humans. Everything is made of the same thing called an atom. This also coincides with beliefs in various religions. In the Bible it says, God is everything and we come from God, and also created in His image. As so in Buddhist teachings too, which mentions we have an energy center, that we can harness energy around us and from space, as it is also energy. Many other religions or spiritual teachings mention or reference that we are part of the universe in some way, shape or form. Also, physics and its subcategories suggest that all living organisms and earthly material, in fact the whole planet and the whole solar system, have energy and also have a type of frequency. This includes the electrical magnetic spectrum, radio frequencies, brain waves, vibrational frequencies, light frequencies, and so on. These frequencies of nature also coincide with living things like us humans and affect our daily life. As humans, we have brainwaves, vibrational frequencies, and electrical pulses going on inside us all the time. These can be emotional changes, thought patterns, organ operations, physical changes, etc. Therefore, as mentioned in the mentality section, and as we are made of the same thing, The outward world affects our inner world. Whatever we come into contact with will affect our biology on an unconscious level if unaware. When we listen to certain types of music, because music has different vibrational frequencies, it changes our human frequencies. For example, the famous and genius composer of classical music, Mozart, composes all of his music to a vibrational frequency of either 432 Hz or 528 Hz, as these frequencies are said to be the frequencies of the earth and the frequency of love. Hence, when you listen to his music, you get a feeling of warmth and a sense of calmness within you. The vibrational frequencies are affecting our human vibration, thus affecting our experience. This also happens when you're watching TV or using a computer or your phone. What you listen to and where you go and what you do, the world is made up of energy, and these energies have frequencies. Being aware of the impact negative energies and frequencies have on you will affect your overall frequency level. Everything mentioned in this audiobook is just a small chunk of information about our knowledge of how the mind, body and universe works. And to some, the information is just another theoretical concept of our world. As mentioned at the start of this audiobook, it would take a lifetime to come up with a logical explanation and a satisfactory answer. Even then, the answer could be so far from the truth. Even if it was the absolute truth, it is human nature to disregard such accusations, right? Perhaps we do not like the idea of knowing all, as knowing all will give us no purpose. Perhaps we are never meant to know, and perhaps we will never know. Perhaps we don't want to know. A man's search for meaning will go on through the ages. But whatever the future holds for us as a race, whether good, bad, painful, weird, mystical, logical or bizarre, it will be an exciting one to say the least. But as for now, while we are here in the human body and experiencing life, we should take care of our being and those around us. I would also like to mention a great legend who deserves recognition for sparking the idea within people and within myself that they can achieve anything, even against all odds. Known for his controversial lyrics in hip-hop, shaking up the music industry, being true to himself and letting nothing or nobody stand in his way to what he wanted in life. He said during an interview that his life wasn't truly his and was given to him by God. And as it was given to him, it could be taken away. This person shared the same frequency with Conor McGregor, Tony Robbins, Jim Carrey, Oprah Winfrey, Bruce Lee, Fabrice Grinder, Jeff Thompson, Mark Zuckerberg, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and anyone else I've mentioned throughout this audiobook. Through hard work, disregarding the naysayers and never giving up, after being shot 5 times and surviving, being falsely accused of raping women, falsely accused of being a terrorist in his own country and going to jail many times, from living in the rough streets of LA, being around gang violence, drugs and guns, to living in multi-million-dollar houses, driving luxury vehicles and living an extravagant lifestyle in a way that he dreamed of, selling multi-platinum records, outperforming everyone in his field during his time, not just with his music but also with his personality, delivering his knowledge and teachings through his music and activities, wanting to help his fellow man and woman to get what they were born to have historically, from the depths of hell to becoming the idol and legend he is known as today, living and being murdered for what he truly believed in and stood up for. I have no doubts in my mind that if he so wanted, he could have become the President of the United States and much more. He is no one other than Tupac Amaru Shakur. His persistence for peace and equality carries on to this very day through others. Hello, my name is Christopher Wilson. I'd just like to take this time to thank you for listening to my audiobook and putting up with my voice for the last 2 hours. I hope the information you got from this book is able to serve you in some way. I wish for nothing more than for you to live a peaceful and happy life. I would be really interested in what you thought of this audiobook and anything I've mentioned has been implemented into your own life. After listening to this, if you still feel you need some more answers or guidance, please go to my website at shencentre.com. That's SHENCENTRE.com, and get in contact with me. You can also keep up with me on what I'm doing on any of the social medias at Kami no Shen. That's Kami no Shen. KAMINOSHEN. I'd like to thank you again for listening to my audiobook. May blessings be upon you, and let the light shine from within.